Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I am respectful of everyone's time. I hope that you all had a great day. Today, we're going to be talking about fundraising and financial management for your nonprofits. One of the things that I'm often curious about is people who make a decision to start a nonprofit, but don't realize or understand that it's a business. Put business in the chat. Put business in the chat. It is a business. And like with any business, you have expenses. You have program expenses, you have operational expenses. Those expenses must be paid, right? So, how do we pay expenses? And we do this in our home, right? Anything that is associated with an expense, there must be money available to pay. The money for the nonprofit comes from the community, right? The money that comes in from our fundraising efforts pays the bills. Okay. Now, in the nonprofit space, we call it fundraising, raising funds. Okay. In the for profit business model, it's called income, it's called revenue. It's the same thing. We need money raised in order to generate revenue. Okay. So the term that we use is fundraising in the nonprofit space. Now, how often do we need to raise funds? Daily. We need daily cash flow because we have daily expenses, particularly if you are running a program year round, if you have expenses as it relates to lease or rent or lights, utilities, and if you have salaries, you have daily expenses, okay, in a business. And so fundraising is a part of your business structure that does not end. It's not episodic, okay? It is an ongoing process. A little bit about me for those of you all who are just joining me in the Nonprofits Essentials Zoom room. I am a professional fundraiser. I have been raising funds for nonprofit organizations for well over 38 years. I had to raise money for one particular organization from as much as 12 to $15 million a year. So raising funds, like within any business, is a system. Put system in the chat. It requires a system of identification, a system of communication, a system of cultivation, right? It's a system. It is not something that you do and stop. It's a part of the system structure of any business is to generate revenue, generate interest, bring in new donors, new funders, or in the for-profit world, that word would be customer. All right. So, what we're going to learn today is the basics of fundraising and revenue generation. There are about 14 different streams of revenue, 14 different streams of revenue. Every nonprofit business, right, has eight. Now, we're not talking about profit, we're talking about revenue, we're talking about money to pay our bills. Profit, the distinction between for profit and nonprofit is profit. What is profit? At the end of the fiscal year or at the end of the business calendar year, everybody within 12 months has to pay their taxes, right? At the end of 12 months, everybody pays their taxes. In the for profit business, at the end of those 12 months of their fiscal year or their calendar year or their corporate business year, at the end of those 12 months, any money over and above expenses, any money spent or any money earned over and above expenses is profit. Money over and above expenses is profit. What do they do with the profit? They take the profit, they distribute the profit between partners and shareholders. In the non for profit, there is no profit, but we need revenue to pay our expenses. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So we need revenue coming in to pay our bills. But we don't have profit. We have operating expenses and we have program expenses based upon the expense, how much it costs to operate, how much it costs to run the program. That's all we're trying to raise. We're just trying to raise enough to operate, right? In the for profit business, they're just trying to raise as much as they can. Over and above expenses, they're still bringing in money. Over and above what it costs to operate, they're still bringing in money. Okay. For us, we have a budget. This is how much it costs to operate. This is how much our program is. And that's all we're trying to raise. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Because there's an idea out here in the world where it's like, Jen, I'm a nonprofit. We don't have any money. Jen, I'm a nonprofit. Am I able to raise money, Jen? Jen, I'm a nonprofit. No, you are a business. Okay. So we're going to talk about diversifying our funding streams. We're going to talk about nonprofit budgeting and financial oversight. And we're going to talk about a little bit about grants and grant writing and donor relations. Okay. The importance of fundraising and fiscal or financial management. Financial management means you know how much it costs to run your business. You know how much it costs to run your business. How do you know how much it costs to run your business? We don't run a business without a plan, without understanding our capacity, right? We are running based upon what we know it costs to operate. How do we know what it costs to operate? This is our program. This is how many people we are expecting to serve within the program. This is how much it's going to cost to run that program every single quarter or every single year. Based upon that capacity, right? Based upon how much it costs, we then are managing month to month to month costs to ensure that we are operating within fiscal management. Otherwise, what happens? You're just spending money, but you're not bringing any money to cover those expenses. Right now, you have a loss. Have you ever heard of a profit and loss statement? Now you're operating in a loss, right? You've got more expenses than you have money coming in, and that is not sustainable. So when you are looking at your business, you are planning your fiscal management, your budget. Put budget in the chat. What's a budget? A budget is a forecast. A budget says this is how much we anticipate to spend between now and the end of the year. You see it happening with the government. You see it happening with the businesses, right? We've already approved our budget. We've already approved our budget. What's our budget based upon? Our budget is based upon what we think it's going to cost to operate, what we're going to use to operate. What are the expenses associated with operating? Now, this is where it drives me crazy because a lot of people start their nonprofit with no thought of the fiscal or the financial necessity, right? We just start our program and we just start paying for everything out of our pocket. But we haven't thought about how do we generate the revenue and why is this important? Because if you're not managing the money, where does the money come from? The money comes from outside the business, your donors, your funders, your partners, your supporters, your contributors, your sponsors. All of these individuals are outside the business. But if you're not managing how much it costs to operate, making sure that you are operating within that financial frame, it's your business. It could cost you $50,000. It could cost you $250,000 to do your business. Okay. 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents out of every dollar can go to operations. According to the Better Business Bureau, up to 35 cents. 35 cents for operations, 65 cents for program. Now, it's generally about 27 to 33 cents is operations. What is operations? That's going to be your website. That's going to be your phone, your internet, your financial management, right? Your bookkeeper or your accountant, your marketing, your fundraising, right? Space, possibly a VA, all the things that you need to operate, right? Up to 33% goes to operation. 67 cents goes to program. Now, why does it build trust with the donor and the funder when they give you $1 and you're spending 75 cents on operations and 25 cents on program? Did you hear what I said? So when you're able to manage the money, when you're able to tell the funder what it costs to run your program, when you're able to tell your donor and funder, this is what it costs to run our business, this is what it costs, this is how much goes to operations, this is how much goes to program, it builds trust. It's not like they're giving you $1 and you're spending 90 cents of it over on operations and 10 cents on program. It lets them know that their money is going and being allocated to where they thought it was, where it's building, it's providing the help that they thought that it would. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So your ability to manage the money, to be able to report where the money goes, how much money is needed, right? That's how you put your forecast together. In the grant application, some grant funders will want to see the financials. They're going to want to see where their money is going. Why? It shows trust. Put trust in the chat. Your financial management. If you say, Jen, we don't have a budget, we don't know how much it costs to operate. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. Whatever comes in is what we spend. Whatever we raise from this event, whatever we can donate, we spend. We don't have really any financial oversight. We don't have any, financial responsibility. We don't have a budget at all, Jen. I'm paying for everything out of my pocket. It does not build trust. When you are wanting your donors, your funders, your supporters to what? Invest in your business. Okay? Having financial oversight helps your organization to scale, right? If you don't know what it costs to serve, let's say your budget is to serve 100 people, but next year you want to serve 200 people. That means what? That means you've got to know how much does it cost to serve 100, and then how much more do we need to raise to serve 200? How much more is it going to need for us to bring in to serve the increase? But you got to know how much it's going to cost to serve what you have. Am I making sense? Yes or no? Am I making sense? Now, this is just a good old business conversation, okay? I know y'all start these nonprofits because of because of your passion, and then have no business sense at all. But you want your donor and your funder to invest in your business with their real money. Whose money? Their money. Whose money? Their money. Their real money, honey. And they want to see, where's my money going? And when you're able to manage the money and you're able to show the impact of what we've done with the 100 that we served this year, it gives cause, it gives justification, it gives rationale of why we want to expand. And this is why we're needing to raise these additional dollars, because we've done so well with the 100 that we've served, and because the need is so great that we want to expand our program to have greater impact. And this is the additional resources that we're going to need. Right? So when you're able to manage the money, when you're able to really understand cost, you're able to communicate that more clearly and succinctly to your donors and your funders. It also reduces financial risk, right? Where you now are trying to, Jen, I want a building. God help me. Everybody wants a building. Jen, I want a building. I want a building. But if you're not managing your money, you will get put in a building and you can't now pay the bills. Has anybody had that happen? I don't want nobody to raise their hand. I'm just saying. You done got yourself into a building and now you've got these added expenses, but you're still paying for everything out of your pocket. And now you've stretched yourself and you now have put the organization in what? A financial risk. Because you've not managed or planned or foreseen or anticipated what are the daily, weekly, regular expenses needed for us to do the work. Okay? Understanding fundraising and revenue diversification. All right? There are multiple streams of revenue. All right? There are 14. All right? I talk a lot about 8. So you've got the individual donors. These are reoccurring or major gifts or people from or money that's coming from individuals. I say your regular donors, your monthly donors, your major donors, your annual donors. These are people, okay? Individuals. And this money is largely non-designated. That means this money can go anywhere in either operations or program. All right? Non-designated dollars. Then you have grants and foundations. Now, that can come from a government grant, that can come from a private, that can come from a community grant. Now, the thing about grants is this: One grant is not going to fund 100% of your expenses, right? And so to have reoccurring or ongoing grant dollars, just like with reoccurring or ongoing any stream of revenue, the more you have giving, right? The more that are giving. So one grant is not going to fund 100% of your expenses. So as you get a grant, and let's say that grant is for a year, let's give the example of January to December. You get the grant in February. You know the grant funds are going to run out in December. It may have taken you 3, 4, 5 months to get that grant, right? So what do? You get the grant in February, and you now start applying for grants also in February. Why? Because as you're spending money, right? You're spending money February, March, April, May, and we've learned that it's going to take months before you get that grant, right? So by the time you get to May or June, you may now have had another approval. Now, this first grant is almost halfway spent. Now you've got other grant money coming in to what? Continue the expense. So the expense line under the grant category does not run out. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? This is how you get ongoing grant funds. Some people will get the grant, let the grant run out, and then go look for another grant. And what we know that it's going to take 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months more before you get the grant funder, the grant approved, right? And the more grants that you are writing, because again, one grant is not going to fund 100% of your expenses. Just like one donor is not going to provide all the money you need under one donation. You need more individuals. You need more corporations. You need more. You need ongoing. Did I say put ongoing in the chat already? Put ongoing, ongoing. I just want y'all to get a spirit of ongoing. You understand? I want you to get a spirit of ongoing, not episodic funding, not random funding, not infrequent funding, not enough funding. No, there is no lack when you have a plan and a strategy for ongoing. There is no lack. Money is not your problem. Usually it's Jen, I don't have a plan to raise it. Jen, I didn't prioritize it. Jen, I don't know how. But it's not, Jen, there is no money. That's not the case. All right. So you got individuals, you have grants, you have corporate supporters, right? You have fundraising events or fundraisers raising funds. After those fundraisers, which are generally episodic, right? So you might have a fundraiser twice a year or 3 times a year. Does that mean that we're only bringing in money and God help us, we're doing more than breaking even? But are you saying that we're only bringing in money twice a year? No. And the people that attended those events, the people that supported the events, the people that walked, the people that bought, the people that sponsored, what do? You cultivate or engage those individuals that supported the event to move into that line, that stream of revenue under individuals, right? That helps with the ongoing. Those that attended the event, I know you sent them that thank you, but you should also stay in touch with them, cultivate them so that they want to be, are encouraged and inspired to be regular ongoing donors, right? So those events are not for people that you know. They are largely for people that you don't know, but that you would like to get to know you better. And how do they do that? After that event, you have one-on-one conversations with them. After that event, you are cultivating them and staying in touch with them. Did you know that most people, most donors stop giving to nonprofit organizations because after they've made their donation, they never hear from them again. And the donor forgot that they gave. They forgot that they gave to you. That's the number one reason. The number two reason is they don't know where their money went. I gave my money, but I don't know where my money went. Okay, so don't do one and two. Number three, earned income is another stream of revenue. Okay, building a sustainable fundraising plan. Put plan in the chat. Put plan in the chat. Many of you don't have a plan. Many of you are just randomly hoping up on something. You're just hoping that money just starts falling from the sky. Okay, it's a plan. It's a plan of one, how much money do we need? And what is the money for? Do we need money for program? Do we need money for program expansion? Do we need, I know everybody wants operation dollars, but that's why you have several streams of revenue. You have several streams of revenue that will cover operations and program. But why? The donor and the funder is not giving you money because you don't have any money to operate. I'm going to say that again for the people in the bushes. The donor is not giving you money because you don't have any money to operate. No, they're giving you money so that you can operate. We're looking to hire an admin, or we're looking to hire another program person so that we're able to expand our program. Currently, we're serving 100 individuals, and our plan for 2025 is to begin to serve 200. So we're going to need to bring on another person to help manage, right, the growth of the program, to ensure that we are operating and evaluating our program for effectiveness, to ensure that every person has the attention that they need or the effective case management that they need to get through the program successfully. You know how you give a rationale? I want y'all to have a rationale of why we need the money. Is the money just because we want a building? Is the money because we don't have any money coming in and we just need more money to cover the operations? No, there is a need that's tied to either the operations or the program. All right. So you want to set a goal, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely. And then you want to identify, where does the money come from? If you do an assessment right now of your organization, are you mixing? Are you diversifying the funding streams? Right? How do we raise more money? More people, more streams of revenue is how we raise more money. So if we only have you as the stream of revenue and possibly some of your board members, then how do we raise more money? We increase the funding stream, right? We bring in grants. We bring in products and services. We bring in partnerships and collaborations. We bring in the other streams of revenue. That's how we raise more money. Okay. So you want to look at and evaluate your organization. How am I managing the business, and how does the business diversify its funding stream? Every business has a diverse funding stream. You have hamburgers, you have cheeseburgers, you have chicken, you have fish, you have drinks, you have desserts, you have coffee, you have tea, you have cups, right? You bring in more things to generate money. Every business does. We're not talking about profit. For those of you that have an issue with money, I don't know if therapy is needed. I don't know what it is, Jen. It's not about the money, Jen. I didn't start my nonprofit for the money, Jen. I don't want anybody to think that we're asking or begging for money, Jen. I just don't feel like, I feel like I'm begging. We're not begging. We're giving. We're giving solution. We're giving change. We're giving impact. We're giving assets to the community, but it's not free. The community knows it's not free, but in your mind, you're thinking, I feel like I'm begging, Jen. I feel like I'm like, is it for you? Because I don't know where the guilty conscience come from. The people that say, Jen, I feel like I'm begging. I feel like I'm asking for somebody to help me. This is not about you. This is about, if we don't have the resources that we need, then we can't deliver the impact. I think some of these leaders need therapy. I really believe it. I believe some of these people who want to help others to be better have something wrong. This is a business. We have real expenses. What, is it better that we don't cover our expenses and then the organization has to stop? Is that better? Is it better that you, as the leader, have choked the lifeblood out of the organization because you have some issue about being a community based leader? We need our community. We need our partners. We need our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our associates. Why? Because as a community, we are helping the community. Now, if you want to just do this thing all by yourself because you feel some kind of way, maybe this is not the business you should be in. Now, I'm not talking to anybody specifically. I'm just speaking to the person who may hear this on the replay. All right. Somebody may hear this on the replay and they may think I'm talking about them. And if they think I'm talking about them, I probably am, but I'm not talking about anybody right now. Okay. Nobody that's listening to me on YouTube. Nope. I'm not talking to anybody here on the Zoom room. Okay. I'm just talking about somebody who's going to come on the replay. You're going to create a fundraising calendar, right? The fundraising calendar talks about when and how you're going to cultivate donors, right? When you're going to launch campaigns. What are the messaging? What are the visuals? What's going to be the focus? Who's going to make the ask? When are we going to launch the campaign? This is a plan, y'all. This is not random. Raising money is not random. It's very, 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 very intentional. Okay. And so you and your board have a plan. Put plan in the chat. You and your board are working a plan to generate revenue. You are working a plan, and everyone has a role in the plan, right? Everyone has a role in the plan. Now, if everyone doesn't have a role in the plan, and if there is no plan, then guess what? There's no money raised. We don't have a plan to raise any money, Jen. We've not made that a priority. It's nobody's responsibility to raise money. We just know we need to raise it, but there's nobody's responsible for raising it. There's no benchmark for success. There's no activities that are set aside for raising money. We just think about and brainstorm fundraising ideas. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And yeah, that's how we operate our business. I'm gonna stop right there because we're on time. Budgeting and financial oversight. The components of your budget is your program expenses, your admin or operational costs, the cost to raise money. The cost to raise money. There's a thing that says it should only cost you about 20 cents to raise a dollar, 30 cents to raise a dollar. Many of you who are doing these events, you might spend $5,000 and you might only bring in $5,000. That means it cost you a dollar to raise a dollar. You didn't even have to do that event, right? You've got to look at minute accounting wise, where is the best return on our investment? Because if we're spending money to try to raise money, which you got to do, but if I'm spending a dollar to raise a dollar, I didn't raise any money. And if for those of you who are the only donor, only funder, and you're not raising any money to recoup that or to continue the work, have you evaluated how much it cost? For those of you that are running these events and not raising any money, right? You spent $5,000 to do the event. You barely raised $5,000 back. The time, the materials, the allocation of energy, and we still didn't raise any money to operate. We still don't have enough money to go into the next month or to have additional funds. That's not good business, y'all. That's not good business. You also need to have the money ahead of time, right? So right now we are in the what? We're in the 20th of what? February. You should have the money for March already in the bank. You should have the money already for March and going into April already in the bank. You know that you're going to have that website to pay. You know that you're going to have the rent to pay. You know you're going to have the internet to pay. You know you're going to have to do the fundraising and the marketing. So the budgeting is ahead. You know that within this quarter, this is how much it costs to operate. Then we know how much money we need to have to even go into the next quarter. We can't operate like I only need $5 between today and tomorrow. But what about on Saturday? How much money are we gonna need on Saturday? How much money are we gonna need next week? I don't know, Jen. I haven't thought about that. We're just trying to operate on what we have next. That is such a poverty mindset. You know, there's a thing that's called nonprofit starvation cycle. Starvation cycle. And who starves the nonprofit? The leader. The leader starves the nonprofit. The person who is the CEO, the person that is in charge, the person that says, I am the president, but I don't have the capacity, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the experience on the financial side of the business, right? And so I don't want to invest. I don't want to grow. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to invest in help. I'm scared to ask for help. What if we get help and then we don't get the money back? That's starvation. That says we're sunk from the beginning. I really don't think this thing is going to work. So I don't really want to put my all into it, or I really don't want to invest in it because I'm not sure anybody else is going to invest in it. Well, what the devil are we doing? You want your donors to give, but the organization doesn't. The organization, well, Jim, we're a nonprofit. Everything should be free. Nothing is free, especially when you're wanting professional help. Well, Jen, everybody's a volunteer and you're getting what you pay for. Am I right? Am I right? They don't know how to do that, Jen. They don't know what to do next, Jen. Now we're spending time, we're spending money, and we're not going anywhere fast. And we want to compete for the trust and credibility of the donor and the funder to say, we are the business we want you to invest in. We know how to accomplish our mission. We know what impact is, but we don't know how to manage your money. We definitely don't know how to manage your money. We don't know how to manage money, but we need yours. We need you to give us your money. Your donors and your funders are clear that there's a cost to operate the business. In fact, if they feel that there is no one overseeing their money, if they feel that their money is not being put to the good use to build the capacity and strength of the organization, then they don't want to invest in it. They don't want to invest in an organization that in 2 months is not going to have enough money to operate and have to close its doors just because you don't want to spend any money. It takes money to make money. Now, you all will spend that entire dollar over on program. You'll take that entire dollar and put it over on program. You'll take that entire dollar and put it over in program. But we don't have a budget. We don't have any accounting. We don't have any outcome or mission statements to share to show that we've done the work. We don't have any transparency of marketing. We just want you to trust us with your money. Am I making sense in what I'm saying? Put yourself in the donor shoes. Okay. Best practices for financial oversights. You've got to have some accounting. Well, Jen, we have our bank statements. We have our bank statements. The bank statements speak to transactions that have already passed. It does not speak to what your plans are. It does not speak to what the goals of the organization are and why those dollars that are being raised today are going to be effective and impactful for your organization to achieve its mission. All right. So you want to make sure that you are implementing financial controls, right? That if there's a person who is giving expenses, that you have an expense process, that nobody gets money until there are two signatures, right? If there are receipts, that you have a policy for the receipting, okay? That you do financial audits. What does this do? This builds trust and credibility with your donors. It lets them know that you know how to manage money. Whose money? Their money. It lets them know that you are conscious of the dollars that are coming into the organization to help you to operate. And it helps you to stay on budget. It helps you to know what things cost or should cost. It helps you to know that if we were to hire help, how much of an expense might this be? And then what are the revenue streams that we need to implement to get those dollars so that we can maintain that help? I'm telling you, your funders and your donors are not impressed that you are doing everything yourself. No one is impressed with that. Okay. You want to have best practices as it relates to financial oversight. Now let's talk about grants because everybody and their mama want to talk about grants. Jen, I'm a nonprofit. Can I get a grant? Jen, I just started my nonprofit. Can I get a grant? In order to get a grant, The funder is going to ask for a case for support. Case, C-A-S-E, put a case for support. You've got to be able to tell them a case for support, which is more than, Jen, I'm a nonprofit. Can I get a grant? Jen, I'm a nonprofit. Is there a startup grant for nonprofits, Jen? What is your case for support? That is not, I'm a nonprofit and that's my case. That's the reason to give me money is because I'm a nonprofit. No, you've got to be able to talk about this is the problem. This is the problem. This is the need that our organization addresses. And this is how our organization does it, right? This is our project plan. This is our project description. And this is how much it's going to cost. That explains how the funds will be used, right? Not, Jen, is there money for operations? Jen, we need money to start our program. Jen, we're a new nonprofit. Is there money for the new nonprofit? Jen, is there money for a startup? That's not a case for support that you went down there and paid the IRS money. No, you're able to share with them the dollars coming into our organization, enable us, equip us to be able to produce and to present this outcome, to measure the effectiveness of our program. These are going to be the impacts that our program has. That's your case for support. Your case for support is this is the need and this is how we're going to meet the need. Not this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I just want to help Jen. I just want to meet the needs in the community, Jen. There's so many needs in the community, Jen. I thought I'd start a nonprofit because there's so many needs. That's not a case for support. Put CASE, case. What is your case for support? In my nonprofit startup guide, right? It was offered to you, not required. But in the nonprofit startup guide, it writes out a full and complete case for support. When you are meeting with individuals, when you're meeting with major donors, and they say, send me something in writing, what are they wanting? A case for support. That's what a grant application is. A grant application is a case for support. Your board members, you as the executive director, should be able to articulate a case for support. You're sitting at a networking event, right? You're invited to the stage and to speak about your organization. You should be able to give a case for support beyond, I went through this and I just, because of what I went through, I decided that, I want to start a nonprofit so that nobody would go through what I went through. That's not a case for support. That does not show why your organization deserves funding. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Your business is impact. Your business is result. Your business is not a piece of paper. In fact, no one would know you are a nonprofit unless you told them. But when you're talking about our mission is, this is what our organization is purposed to do. This is why what we do is important. You've got to be able to introduce and articulate the case for support. Now, that's how you know we're not begging, right? That right there erases the whole begging situation. The mind game that many of you that you have talking about, Jen, I don't like asking for help. Jen, I just don't know. What if they turn me down? What if they no, you are giving them a strong case for support. They're not supporting you. They're supporting the need. They're supporting the solution that you offer. They're supporting and being part of how the community is going to be changed and enhanced and transformed by the success of your work that they're partnering with you to do. This is not about you. This is about why what we do matters. Where to find grants? Because everybody and their mama talk about, Jen, I done signed up for SAMS. I done gone over to grants.gov. Grants.gov is great. Now, under this new administration, this current administration, now this current administration is not real gung-ho on the needs of the community. You understand? They're not that gung-ho on it. So if you're thinking that you're going to go over and get some money from the government in this current environment, I don't know how that's going to work out. I'm going to say this. Aren't we grateful that they're not the only stream of revenue? Aren't we grateful that we don't have to rely on grants, honey? Aren't we grateful that one monkey don't stop no show? You understand? That you have got other streams of revenue and you are not hung up behind grants.gov. You got other streams of revenue. You know what I'm saying? You've got other means of support financially for your organization. Now go on over there to grants.gov, and while their floor is higher, the competition is also higher. I just want y'all to know that, right? The floor is higher. The floor meaning the minimum that you can ask for. So it might be 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5, whatever. But that also means that when those grant dollars run out, you've still got to have other streams of revenue to continue what that grant started. Whatever it started, whatever you built, whatever you hired, that whatever those dollars, when they have run out, you still have to have streams of revenue to keep that work going, right? The government grants are usually not multi-year. If it's 2 years or 3 years, honey, that can snatch that thing at any moment. They can terminate those grants. We see it happening right now. We see it happening right now where they terminate them agreements. Now, where's money coming from? That's your only stream of revenue. You didn't bring in any other money from any place else. You put all your eggs in one basket. No business does that, right? You've got foundation directories, right? You've got foundation directories for private and corporate grants, right? You can go over to Philanthropy News Digest. Philanthropy News Digest. That's a part of Candid and GuideStar. It used to be a part of the Foundation Center. All right. So there are lots of places and spaces where you can find grants. The biggest thing is the research. In addition to grants, as one stream of revenue, grants is probably only going to cover about 20, maybe 24% of your overall budget. Okay? So you've got other streams of revenue to help generate the resources needed. Grants are not going to cover 100%. They're not going to cover 80%. They're not going to cover 50%. Okay? You want other streams of revenue so that you can grow, so that you can expand, so that you can be sustained. Okay? So that means what? The other revenue streams, which is your donor engagement, the more people that know what you do, the more people that can give to you, the more corporations, the more businesses, the more partners, the more collaborations. That's more money, right? So you're sending out the thank yous. You are providing impact or updates. You're giving reports. You're keeping the donors informed. You're keeping and staying connected with them. You are strengthening relationships, right? By visits or tours or personal notes. You are providing monthly information, right? Inviting them to become a part of your monthly giving program and sharing with them the reward of that. Y'all know it's not about the money. Now, I talk about the money because we need the money, but it's not about the money. It's not about the money. That when you're able to communicate the impact of your work, when you're able to show the need that your organization addresses, when you keep it about the mission and the importance of the mission, when you're able to show that your organization is the solution that the community needs, they will ask you, what do you need? They will ask you, what do you need? And then you tell them, this is our budget. This is what it costs per year for our program to operate. Over the next 30 or 60, 90 days, we're trying to raise this much money so that we can do da 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 da. Now we're back to the budget, right? You knowing the cost, knowing how much it costs. You're not begging them for it. You're just letting them know how much it costs. They're going to give whatever they have in their capacity to give. You're just letting them know this is what it costs. We want to serve 100 individuals. At the end of our program, this is what they're going to be equipped with. This is the need that we're addressing, and this is how much it costs. We're asking our donors and our funders to support us and to partner with us so that we're able to continue to meet this need. We're not telling them how much to give. That's their money. I don't count nobody's dollars. You understand? I just give everybody an opportunity to join us in amazing work. I just give everybody an opportunity to see that our organization is trustworthy and can accomplish the mission. I just tell everybody, listen, our organization can be trusted with your investment. How much they give is none of my business. I don't even ask them for how, I just let them know how much it costs. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? We're not begging, we're giving. We're giving opportunity, we're giving solution. Okay? I want you guys to consider this. This is a project for you and your board. Who's your board? You and your board's job is to ensure that you have the resources coming in to operate, right? To accomplish your mission. So, as an activity for you and your board, I want you guys to define a goal between now and the end of the year if you have not. All right? A program goal. If it's to expand the program, if it's to hire a staff or to pay a stipend, if it's to whatever it is that you think that you need to do. And then within that plan, choose 2 or 3 additional fundraising streams, right? Let's say you decide to bring in one new donor a month. You decide to bring in one new corporate sponsor a month. Choose within a quarter how we're going to increase our fundraising streams, okay? And then set the action. The next 30, 60, 90 days. I tell my clients, my leaders that I work with, 45 minutes a day. 45 minutes a day. If you spend 45 minutes a day of focused work on generating revenue, you will see a huge difference in the money that you raise. Okay? Let's talk about the challenges that many nonprofits have. And this is what I talk about every day. I say, money is not your problem. Money is not your problem. Money is not your problem. Usually it's we don't have multiple streams of revenue, Jen. I'm the founder and I'm the one that's paying for everything. Jen, we don't have any donors. We don't have any funders. We don't have any money coming in. That's the problem, is that you don't have multiple streams of revenue. That's the problem. Jen, we don't have any management of finances. We don't even have a budget, Jen. We don't have a budget. We don't know how much things cost. We just haven't even thought about it. Well, that's why there's a challenge with no money. We don't even know how much things cost. Unclear funding strategies or plans. We don't know what's coming up. We don't know how to let people know what we're doing. We're not communicating. We're not marketing what our financial needs are and what it is that we're doing with the revenue raised. We're not even able to share with the people what we've been able to do with their donations and contributions, which is what? Not sharing credibility, visibility, or building trust for those that have not yet invested in what you do to invest in what you do. Can you see how not addressing the challenges can grow the problem? Did you hear what I said? Not addressing your challenges can only grow that challenge. Did you hear what I said? Okay. Wanting you all to be ready. Okay. So here are going to be your steps for success. Diversifying your funding streams. Don't rely on grants. Jen, I need a grant. Jen, I just started my nonprofit. I need a grant, Jen. I need a grant. I need a grant. Grants are great. But grants may take 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 9 months more before you get them. What do we do in the meantime? How are we operating in the meantime? You have to diversify your funding stream. Money has to be coming in from other places. Now, again, this is business, and I probably have this conversation 20 times a day. And the people that I say that to are dumbstruck, dumbstruck. Like, what? I'm a nonprofit. We don't have any money, Jen. I'm a nonprofit. No, you're a business, and you need multiple streams of revenue. You need to be able to track your financials. What you have spent year to date, right? From January to date, Those expenses are your actual expenses, right? And so now, when you start planning for next year, January through March, you can use these actuals, if everything stays the same, as your projections for next year. How do you start your projected budget for 2026? You look at your actuals from this year, but you've got to be tracking. Many of you who are paying for everything out of your pocket, Jen, I'm just paying for everything out of my pocket. No, I didn't count the internet. I didn't count the phone. I didn't count these other expenses. I just was paying for them out of my pocket. I don't even know how to put that in my budget. Well, then how can we all of a sudden justify you've been operating 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year more, paying for everything out of your pocket, not tracking any expenses? But how do we give a funder a budget? How do we even know what to ask for if you're not tracking? Okay. Engaging your donors consistently and planning activities in advance to create a strategic roadmap for your organization. Money is not your problem. Money is not your problem, but how you manage the money, how you plan for the relationships that need to be started, initiated, or grown for the people to build trust in what you do before they give to what you do. Okay. Those people want to see, want to know, want to understand where their money goes. I challenge you that if you don't have a plan, create a plan. I challenge you to be strategic and systematic and spend the time to raise the money. Well, how do you raise money? Raise relationships, meet new people, share and show what you do, share the value of what we do. That's how we raise money. Marketing, marketing our mission, marketing the success, marketing our impact, and sharing how our program meets the need. And the people that are interested, the people that are connected, the people that want to see that impact continue, they will ask you, what do you need? Guarantee. You hear what I said? Guarantee. Because we're all in it for the community. All right. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? I am mindful, mindful, mindful of your time, mindful of your time, mindful of your time. All right. Listen, I'm just going back to the through the comments. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Those things I'm doing to raise money require money to go. You got to have some money. Listen, if you don't have any money for your business, it's your business. Nobody started this thing but you. You started this whole thing. All right? You started this whole thing. Are there any questions? Any questions about what we did today? We're going to be doing next week is going to be program design and impact. Program design and impact will be next week. And then the last week, week 6, will be strategic planning and sustainability, planning for the future, planning for the future. Lady Freedom Lee, I see your hand raised. How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I think you're amazing. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So my question has to do with programs and projects. I get a little confused sometimes when you say your whole thing is based on your program, and then sometimes you say it's about funding the projects you're doing. And I guess I'm all confused because I in an effort to not sound as ignorant as I am about this whole process, but having the heart and the desire to get involved in, making a change in the world and the community and all of that. I got into this with programs, projects, and events, and I kind of separated all of those things into those kinds of categories. So when you speak about that, can you explain a little bit more about what you mean by your program and your project? Because I have programs that I sell, like Kwanzaa 365 or Traveling Hips, Belly Dance Rites of Passage. They're all programs that I've created that people can come on to my website and see, and then have us come out and implement the program with their people, their churches, their homes, their community. It's another form of revenue. But when you say program, I don't think you're talking about that.
Okay, so a program, as it relates to what a grant funder would say a program is, or even why or how your mission is accomplished, right? So your program is based on a need. There's a need, and you put together a program to meet that need. Now, by definition, a program is a group of activities. So the
Mhm.
activities could be sheltering, job training, life skills development. All of those are activities that are designed for a result, right? So the result,
Right.
which is the impact, is at the end of these program activities. This is the result. The result is they came into our program with low job skills or not able to get a job or not able their first time getting a job, right? So our activities are resume writing. Our activities are financial literacy. Our activities are job search. Our
Mhm.
activities are clothing and art you know the communications piece. Now, at the end of our program, these individuals with the activities that we've given them have now been able to show that they've gotten interviews and have secured a job because that was the point of all these activities.
Got you. Got you.
Okay. So the program, by definition, is activities that produce a result.
Okay.
A
And the
project,
project? Uh-huh.
a project might be that we have um, a project might be we are working with an HR or a job search program where they are coming in and they are doing, some type of college course, right? To help them learn some type of specific thing, but it's not generally ongoing. It's something that has been created to help supplement or to help enhance the program. But the project is usually not ongoing in that case.
I see.
Now,
Uh-huh.
that's one example. A grant funder may interchangeably say, give me a project design or a program design. Generally, the grant funder, those two words can mean the same thing. All right. Now, however you define it within your organization, at the end of the day, all they care about is what is it that you are doing to meet and achieve the mission.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. That's all they care about is at the end of the day, what are they paying for? Because the activities of what you do is where the money goes. The
Right.
activities of what you do is where the expense is. The return on that investment is the result. That the result says this was money well spent for these activities. But if
Uh-huh.
we're just doing activities and we cannot show a result or the achievement of mission, then they're saying, well, what do we invest in?
So that's impact.
That's impact.
Okay.
Am I
Because I
making
have a project like 100 Black Author Books for Children, where we cultivated a collection of 100 Black authored books, a projector, and some other activity books and things like that. And we were donating it to 10 schools, libraries, or reading rooms. Actually, we did it for around the world. And we that was a project, and that did have an end date.
right?
We still haven't completed it yet, but it does have an end date, you know.
But if you
Um,
can't, and the project is fine, but if you're wanting investment in the project, then you've got to say, well, what is the importance of this book being spread out? Like, what are they learning from the book? How has this book helped you achieve your mission? How do you know? Are they reading the book? What are they getting from the book? How are they taking action on the book? So most people have a difficult time doing what they do, the
mhm.
activity that they do, and tying that to impact. Impact means we accomplished our mission. Impact means there's a change.
Right.
Impact means we solved something. But giving it away, there's nothing wrong with it.
Oh
But
no, we have it's a lot more involved in it. I
I
was just telling
understand.
you the basics of it.
I
So,
understand. But
but yes, yes.
I'm just pointing to the activity of giving it away and the significance of resource, if any, attached to that, the grant funder or any funder is going to want to know, are we paying for books to be given out?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
To what
Hmm.
end? How come they can't buy their own books? Now I'm not asking a question. I'm just giving a conversation of, is this the best use of our money if we're in it for the result, is all I'm saying. I don't know your program. I'm not speaking specifically about your program. I'm just trying to share the difference between activity and result.
And program and project.
Exactly. Exactly.
Got you. And thank you so much.
You're
That
welcome.
was very.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Are there any other questions? Are there any other questions? This is very helpful. I swear you break it down on what we need to be doing. I'm so happy to be in your class. This information you have been giving us is golden. It is. I'm really sorry it's going to be ending soon, but I hope that you all are getting some value for it. Let me see. That was a really great question. Your classes are cute. Okay, any other questions? Any other questions? All right. What did you guys take away from tonight? What resonated? What stayed with you? What are your action steps? Let me know how I did in explaining this. Again, trying to be mindful of your time. I know it's late on the East Coast. Anything that resonates with you?
I've got to find more ways of showing impact and really organize myself um, for my presentations and grants because I've been applying for grants and some of them it's like hit or miss
Mhm.
because some of them I get a little more hand holding and I get a little more right.
Mhm.
But yeah, definitely I have to make my business plan and sit down with my members and all of that. Everything you said, I just have to do it. I mean, it's like almost like starting from scratch. It is actually starting from scratch for me. So.
Then I've heard that. I have this exact conversation at least a dozen times a day. So you are not alone. When we know more, we do more, right? When we learn things that we did not know before, we're able to walk and to move differently. So this is your opportunity to set it up in a way that's more sustainable and efficient, as well as more result driven and not passion driven for the donor and the funder. All right. While it's not a requirement, the nonprofit startup guide is a tool that I've made available through this class, but I also found a readiness assessment, a nonprofit startup readiness assessment. And it talks about what is our audience? What are the needs that we are addressing? Why are these needs important to the community? That as you speak about the mission driven work, which is around the needs of what we want to do and not the passion for what we do, we now are able to respond to the question. Now, that's only $25. I'm not selling it. I'm just saying that that's another tool that I created years ago, actually. And it's usually just for my personal clients. But in talking about impact all the time, in talking about it all the time, I thought, how do I get them to understand how to get to impact? We get to impact by knowing what are their needs, not what you want to do, but what are their needs. Based upon their needs, we create the activities that are strategically designed because we are an expert on needs, not doing and not passion. That's our vision, actually. Our vision is need met. When we have a vision, we see the end. We see what is it when their problem has been solved. And now we're working to make that actual happen. Okay. So anyway, that's the work that we do. That's the work that we do. Okay? That's the work we do. Lady Melissa, oh, you had a question?
I do have a question. I have a after school program that I run, and I wanted to know how I struggle with finding donors, like making that connection. So to cover our expenses, I'm the one who.
You went back on mute, Melissa. Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um, I charge a nominal fee to cover some of the expenses that we like for our STEAM programs and things of that sort. So I would like to know if you have any information on how to reach more donors for our program.
So to reach any of our streams of, of revenue, it comes from the awareness that you build or wellness around the need, right? Where you can say, you know, 1 out of 5, and I don't know what the stat is, you need to figure that out. But 1 out of 5 individuals or single moms or people are not able to afford, um, the going rate for childcare. Our program is built and designed to assist those that may have difficulty paying the going rate, right? We're out in the world, it may cost $4,000. Within our program, we only charge, a fraction of that. Our program possibly is on a sliding scale. Why? Because we know that individuals are having to make a choice of, do I have a safe place to put my child, or do I not get employment because I cannot afford childcare? Our program is here to ensure that these mothers or these parents are able to go to work, understanding and knowing that their child is in a safe place where they're learning and they're growing academically, preparing them for school while they're able to work. As they are able to pay more, we may assess that, but our goal is to put them in a place where their parent, now I'm totally making this up. I
You're
don't know.
doing a great job. You're doing a great job, by the way. Like I need you on record. No,
I'm just saying,
you
you
you know my program. You know
are
my program.
That's just 38 years of doing this, okay? The point is this: you are creating a case for support. So that's how you get more donors. You share your case for support. You talk about what the need is. You talk about why it's so difficult for a child care to be affordable. You talk about the benefits of your program and the affordability of your program and how it equips these individuals to be able to go to work. And now we're impacting or helping those that are on social services or some type of assistance because they can't get a job because they have child care, right? They're having to make a choice. Do I go to work, or am I making not even enough to pay for childcare? It's cheaper for me to stay home,
Right, right, right.
right? So build the case for
Okay.
support. And that's what you show, that's what you market. And that's how you get more donors. A strong case for support.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anyone else before we go? Fundraising is ongoing and you need diverse friends to string. Yes, 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 yes. All right, y'all. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. We went from 81 to how many we got in here tonight? A 13. Mm-mm-mm. I hope it's not me. I hope it's not me. I
Definitely not you. Definitely not you, Queen. Definitely. It's all on them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much. Listen, I want you all to take this information. I'll be sharing it over on my YouTube. If you guys have not had an opportunity to seek weeks 1 through 3, they are up on the YouTube, and I'll be sharing this. What's today? Today's Thursday. I hope to have it up by Saturday. Um, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for y'all's attention. Thank you for your interest in this subject matter. Thank you for your engagement and your participation. I really appreciate it.
The
Next,
link,
the
the
link.
link for the book that you was referencing for $25. Can you put that in the chat?
Oh, it's just, I didn't even create a link for it. Did I create a link for it? Did I create a link for it? Did I create a link for it? I listen, I was digging around because I'm every day I'm thinking, Lord, what else can I give? What else can I provide that's going to be helpful? Let me see if I put it in here. I think I put it in here. It is in here for $25. So if you go to um I think it's under, let me do the search real quick. I think it's under bit.ly. Teach me, Jen. Is it there? Yes. Okay, that's where it is. Let me put this link right here. It's bit.ly/teach me Jen. And it's $25. It's $25. And it's a guide. It's a guide that you should be able to converse about. These are the issues of the community. It talks about the program, it talks about community, it talks about how much does your program cost to run. It talks about how much time do you spend in the organization? Why is that important? Because as you are bringing people in, you're going to want to be able to convey to them how much time, right? How much time for a board member, how much time to run the program, how much time you are organizing and putting everything together for the business. So it talks about the time, it talks about the board, it talks about leadership, it talks about qualifications. Who do we need to have as board members and what qualities or qualifications do we want them to have? All of these things generally are thought about well after we done started doing this program and paying for everything out of our pocket. We don't put people on the board who are not equipped, who don't know what to do, but we've put them there. Why? Because we were looking for board members, but we didn't really understand the roles and responsibilities of those boards or to assess or interview them to find out can they do the job, right? And that's because we didn't think about it. We were just so busy to try to get started that we didn't think about what are the things that I'm going to need to run the nonprofit, to run it, not the program, but the business. And so this assessment has questions that help you be thoughtful about the structure of the organization, the mission of the organization. Do I even have it? Let me see if I have. I'll show you some of the questions that are in it. And I apologize. I don't want to take any more of you all's time than's necessary. But this is what it looks like here. Y'all can see how long ago it was. Yeah, anyway. It says this. It says, what is the main purpose of your organization? That's a conversation that you're having with your donors and your funders. Hello, my name is. I'm the executive director of. The purpose of our organization is this. The purpose of our organization is to meet this need. The purpose of our organization. So it talks about the words and the phrases that you're going to need to build your case for support, right? The next is, what is your mission? The next is, what is your vision? What are or why have you chosen this particular population? Why have you chosen this particular population? It says, what are at least 10 areas of need that they have? We've chosen this population because these are the needs that they have. And with these individuals having these needs, this is how it impacts the community. So I'm trying to put in your mouth the words that you're going to need to market. That's marketing. These are the needs of the people that we serve. And if we don't serve these needs, that challenge only grows, right? We talk about describe what this population will look like once that need has been met. That need being met by your organization. This is what solution is going to look like. And again, many people start their nonprofit not able to talk about any of this. And that is why many people think, well, I feel like I'm big and I think, no, this is not about you. This is about all the needs that we're meeting. This is about the solution that we're bringing to the community. This is about what's at stake if we don't address these needs. Are we passionate about meeting needs or are we just passionate about doing activities? That's what I'm not clear about. I'm not clear. I don't know it. I don't have a dog in the fight. But I just want everybody to be clear that we are passionate about the needs. That's what makes our organizations valuable. That under this current administration, the needs are going to grow. You understand? We got an opportunity right now to know the needs and to know how much it's going to cost to meet the needs. We got multiple streams of revenue, and people who have are the ones that are going to give. Because as a culture, we are not philanthropic. We don't know philanthropy. This is philanthropy. We don't know philanthropy. We're not raised in a culture of philanthropy. We're raised in help your neighbor, help your neighbor, help your neighbor, but your neighbor's broken, so are you. And now we want to expand the help. We need the resources to do that. Why? Because our work is valuable. Not valuable as in we're taking advantage, but valuable as in it deserves to be supported. And this is what the support produces. What we produce as a result of that result is beneficial to everyone, not just the people that we serve, but the community as a whole. Am I making sense? Now, we're going to talk about program and program design and impact next week, which I hope I'll be able to paint a clearer picture. Okay. I want to thank you all again for your time. Thank you all for following. I appreciate you. If you guys are not subscribed to my YouTube, please do. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. They say, listen, there's this crazy lady over there that talks real rough about this nonprofit space, but she is serious about the work. You understand? I'm really serious. And hopefully that the information I share with you is helpful, is helpful, is helpful. That's my heart.
Great job, great job, great job.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
doing God's work. You're doing God's work.
Listen, if he's pleased, I am pleased as well. Capricorn energy, exactly. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much. We'll see you all next week for week 5. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have an amazing evening.